Imagine having complete control over your company's information and the web, like a Jarvis-enabled Iron Man that can find high-value insights from AI models without the nonsensical back and forth or those pesky hallucinations. While deep research tools have given us glimpses of this information control over the past year or so, I think even the most powerful options have still left a bit to be desired. That may have changed very quietly this past week with OpenAI's latest update to its deep research platform. So it's Wednesday, so we're going to put AI to work on Wednesday in our weekly series as we go over ChatGPT's new deep research updates in 5 ways you can start using it today. We're going to get super actionable, practical, and we're going to go through this quickly so you can get to work. All right, I'm excited for today's show. Hope you are too. Let's get started. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Jordan. This is Everyday AI. This is a daily live stream podcast and free daily newsletter helping everyday business leaders keep up with the non-stop avalanche of AI developments. I'm going to tell you what's important, what's not, how to use it to grow your company and career. So if you're new here, sweet. Make sure to subscribe to this podcast if you're listening there. But make sure to also go to youreverydayai.com. There you can sign up for the free daily newsletter. We're going to be recapping the highlights from today's show, as well as all of the other AI news you need to know from today to be the smartest person in AI at your company. All right. Also, speaking of being the smartest person in AI, I did thousands of hours of work for you this past year and put it all into 2 episodes. So make sure if you haven't already, go hit back a couple times on that control there and go to episodes 7, 12, and 713 as we brought you the 2026 AI predictions and roadmap series. It is an invaluable resource that you need to know. All right, enough about that. Let's get AI to work for us on Wednesday. We've been doing this for a little bit more than a year. We've been doing the Everyday AI show now for 3 years, but we've been doing this Wednesday segment every Wednesday for a long time. I hope you all like it. This is one of those FYI, and might be a little bit better to watch the video version of this. So you can make sure to do that on our website. Yeah, on our website, you can go listen to the podcast, watch the video version, read about it, all that stuff. So FYI, I'm going to try to do my best explaining for our podcast audience, but this might be one of those you might want to watch the video version. So on today's show, we're going to go over the single upgrade that I think turns ChatGPT from chatbot into true research platform that just came out. I'm going to talk about why your company's data just became deep research's most powerful source. And I'm going to go over at the end 5 use cases that could replace hours of manual work that you can use starting today. All right, let's get into the high-level overview of what's new. So, first of all, I won't blame you if you missed this, because I don't know if you've noticed, the past week in AI has been kind of nutty, right? Between all of the, big news, the drama, right? The OpenClaw acquisition, and well, in between all of that, OpenAI kind of silently, just with a tweet and an update to a blog post, that's it, updated what I think is one of the most powerful kind of loads in all of AI. So that is deep research. So here's kind of what's new. The biggest thing is they updated it, the model. So now it's running on GPT 5.2, which does reduce errors and hallucinations for plus and pro users. So previously, OpenAI was using a combination of their O3 and O4 models to power deep research. Now it is using GPT 5.2. Unfortunately, we don't know exactly what variant, although by allotted number of queries that you get per paid plan, I do assume it is the GPT 5.2 thinking. No clue if it's on the medium, on the high. We're not sure. I'm sure that we'll find out about that later for all of us dorks out there. The next big new update is reports. It's much cleaner now. Better navigation. It has kind of multi-modality. You can now appear in full screen viewer with split screen citation checking. I'll show you that in a minute. Also, now you can upload files that can be used as primary context for your research before it begins. Live steering is new, which I absolutely love. It lets you pause or redirect agent logic in real time without it starting over, right? Because some of these deep research queries, depending on what you're asking for, may take anywhere from 8 minutes to more than an hour. All right, so I actually have one that's been going on here now for quite a long time, probably more than an hour. It doesn't even look like it's halfway done. So the live series is really good, and probably in that one feature that I kind of teased in the beginning that I think really separates this from just about any of the other deep research competitors right now is the ability to really have granular control over what websites it uses and doesn't use. All right, so more on that a little bit later, but let's switch this one up. Live stream audience, see this. I wasn't planning on sharing my screen right away, but let's go ahead and do it. All right, so hopefully everyone can see my screen. Let's see, make it a little bit bigger. Here we go. Okay, so I'm showing a live version of this right now. So this is a deep research that's running. So this is available to paid users. And how you access this, let me zoom in on my screen a little bit. If you look at the bottom, so where you would normally type in a prompt, you're going to click the plus button, and then you're going to go to deep research. And then let me just go ahead and bring up a new window here, so I hopefully don't take over this one. There we go. All right. So when you are using deep research, you will still have the option to go back to the old version. And I'll talk a little bit about maybe one little benefit of why you might want that. So you can, the new version is just deep research. If you want the older version, you would click on legacy. So you'll see here, it is a much different kind of layout. Oh wait, did it finish? Yeah, it finished right there live in real time. Cool. So I actually, man, this is why doing live demos is always tricky. I wanted to show everyone, how you can update it as it goes along. Yeah, looks like 31 minutes. But we'll get into, that was the whole reason I jumped over to that one that was going live. It looked like it was about halfway done, and then it decided it was over. So I'm going to get back to my slides. Okay, I really just took it over at that point to show you how to steer it. But AI live demos decided it was done. All right. But I do think that new option for suggested sites only is really, really cool. All right, so let's talk about who gets access and how much. Well, you do have to be on a paid plan right now. So if you are on the pro level, so that $200 a month plan that I'm on, you do get 125 full model and 125 lightweight queries per month. If you were on a different paid tier, so plus, team, and enterprise, you get 10 full model and 15 lightweight every month. And free users, we're not sure, probably some level of lightweight queries. We don't have an exact number on that. So that's why, we don't really know what model is, being used. Like I said, I would assume that this is 5.2 thinking. I think there's technically like 6 or 7 different versions of GPT 5.2. So I don't know if it's using GPT 5.2 Pro, which I think is still, actually as of like a week ago, I still have to do more testing between this and Gemini 3 Pro DeepThink, the model that just came out. So GPT 5.2 Pro had been my favorite model for the most heavy of lifting, right? I still have to compare it to the new version of Gemini 3 Pro that just came out. So you do have to be essentially on a paid plan to be able to use this thing at scale. So the thing that I really like here, some of these updates that OpenAI put out changed it, I think, from kind of a nice little feature to a full-blown platform. So not just now running 5.2, but having the full screen document viewer that's kind of separate from the chat. There's a nice scroll kind of feature on the left-hand side that I'll show you here in a minute. And then the fact that you can now better interrupt, redirect, and connect external data sources mid-research is huge. That's something I do all the time and something I personally love about, vibe coding, with, Codex as an example, OpenAI's new coding platform. I love that in the middle of something because, I had Codex going for almost 10 hours the other night, building me cool stuff while I slept. But I love that you can put a prompt in and you can choose to keep it there to not interrupt, or you can say steer, right, and say, hey, while you're working on this, keep going in the direction that you're going, but here's some feedback. If you listen to the show at all, I always encourage, if you want to get better and better at AI, make sure to kind of watch the chain of thought or watch deep research work. And you should be doing that. And now the great thing is you can kind of quote unquote interrupt or steer with both text-based feedback and files. So what does this mean? What does the model update mean? Well, just a little smarter. So 5.2 brings some enhanced reasoning capabilities for complex multi-source research tasks, smarter research planning and improved synthesis across those multiple sources. And then users can also still choose that legacy model. So if you did prefer that, you still have that. So one small thing, and this is more of a maybe a UI UX, kind of old versus new. One thing I did like a little bit more about the old version of deep research from ChatGPT. Before it got started, it usually asks you 3 to 4 clarifying questions. Now, what it does is it first gives you a research plan that you have to approve. Obviously, at that point, you can go through and look at it's a short plan. It takes 30 seconds. It's one little screen. You can approve it or you can leave feedback at that point. Personally, I always loved it when ChatGPT first asked me before it went on to the deep research. But if you've taken our prime prompt polish course, if you've taken our PPP course, both free by the way, you know that there's a couple little tricks that you can do before you start the deep research that's going to give you exponentially better results. The full screen document viewer, I absolutely love. It is clean. It is easy to use. Not saying that the last version of deep research was bad by any means. It wasn't. But I love this new kind of scrollable table of contents on the left side, especially when the reports are really long. It helps you get through them a little more quickly. And then also the dedicated source panel on the right side. The real-time controls are great. So the ability to better monitor the entire search process in real time, just upgraded. So like I said, for those chain of thought watchers like me, hey, if you're a heavy AI user, let me just say, you need minimum 2 screens, right? Because it's not like people are always like, oh, well, what do? If you're waiting, 10,